Fit for Life Radio, episode number 79. You know, when we got to 50, I felt like 100 was right around the corner.
Yeah, I know, but it's taken
When you get in the 70s,
4 years.
You feel like you're not getting anywhere.
But we'll be in the 80s next time.
It's not a race.
It's not a race.
Quality over quantity.
Yeah, but 100 would be nice.
Everyone listening is thinking, quality? I haven't heard one good one yet.
Yeah, I know, damn.
I keep listening because it's so bad. It's like reality TV.
This is your favorite. Gary's like, it's all he watches. Reality TV.
It's just so raw, even though it's not. It's probably
visceral.
All scripted.
I mean, it is, but like, those are still real people, man.
Speaking of script and structure, that's what we're talking about today.
Structure your life.
After a little bit of our rant last week, we figured we'd come back this week and talk more about. So another extension of that rant is randomness and how many coaching programs, training programs, and people when they go to the gym just kind of do random stuff.
Just do whatever. And it's not, it's like throwing crap against the wall and seeing what sticks, basically.
Yeah. And again, obviously this isn't a perfect comparison, but similar to cooking, right? Like, yeah, if you just throw a bunch of stuff together and start together, like you'll have a meal. But what if it turns out really good?
And you have no idea how much of everything you put in.
Yeah, and how to make it again.
Yeah.
So same thing with fitness is, just going to the gym and doing random stuff and just eating. Oh, I'm going to eat, good in these specific foods. And then, you may lose weight. You may start to feel better, but you don't actually know why. And in the long run, it becomes harder to know what worked for you.
Yeah, and to know, what do I change now? I stalled out, so, how do I even go forward from this point? That's hard for people.
And a common one is, and so we see this a lot with nutrition. Like I said, I saw someone on Twitter where they posted, easily lost 10 pounds, switched to, oat milk. That's the best way to lose 10 pounds. And the reality is now they're putting this, halo on oat milk. But they probably had no structure in their diet, and you're just kind of grabbing at different foods. But the reality is they cut calories, right? So if, say, they were drinking whole milk before and they switched to oat milk, the oat milk was just a lot less calories.
Yeah.
Maybe they drank a lot of whole milk, so they cut a lot of calories. Whereas they could have just switched to skim milk.
Would have the same effect.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Or if for some reason, say they're really don't even like the oat milk, but they think that this was the magic food that helped me lose weight. The reality is cutting the calories helped them lose weight. So if you understand that principle, you can then, let me cut something I actually don't care about much, or then maybe get to keep something I really do love, which then means you're able to accomplish the same thing, but you're more likely to stick with it long term, and it's going to be sustainable.
Yeah, and that's an important point of sustainability. It's just stuff you like. Because I know a lot of people think that there's magic foods, right?
Mm-hmm. And magic exercises.
Dude, kale was the one for so long, and I don't know if people still hold it in the same regard, but first off, kale's not very good for the most part. And people thought I got to eat this because it's a superfood and it's, going to help me lose weight. Well, if you hate it, and let's be real, most of us don't like kale. Are you going to eat it every day? Yeah. Are you going to enjoy it? It's just not very sustainable to do that. Mm-hmm. Whereas you might love blueberries, which I do. And, that's something that you would really like to include in your diet. And, overall, they have fiber. They're good. They're pretty filling. That would be a good choice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or anything. It could be anything at all.
It could be Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, it could be Pop-Tarts if they help you stay. Dude, but Pop-Tarts, man, they're almost 500 calories.
Oh, yeah, no, they're definitely a lot. But I'm saying, if you enjoy eating Pop-Tarts,
for sure.
You can keep them in your diet and lose weight. You're just going to have to cut out other stuff.
500 calories? That's a lot of ground beef.
I mean, probably about 8 ounces depending on the fat amount. 8 ounces.
What would you rather eat?
Probably more like a pound. I don't know.
Depends on, anyways.
Well, so that's the point, though, is that if you're just randomly cutting things and you have no structure, no principles, you're going to typically end up in a miserable place, right? Whereas if you just have some principles, hey, hit my protein goal, hit my calorie goal, and then you get to fill it in with the foods you want, Yeah, could be half a Pop Tart, could be no Pop Tarts, could be all ground beef. But the point is, you kind of have some structure, and it's going to be more sustainable.
Yeah.
Same thing with exercise. You know, if you're always doing something different every single time, training to fatigue, making yourself tired, it's for most people it's not sustainable. They'll run into injuries, they run into burnout. You think you have to do burpees every time, and you hate burpees, and it's not fun, and I dread this. And the reality is, if you just had some structure, had a plan, that then the plan maybe has some easier days, some harder days, so you don't have to like psych yourself up, hype yourself up every time. It's going to be more sustainable. You're also going to structure it, your intensities, and that's how you avoid injuries.
Yeah.
You know, ultimately, if you train yourself into the ground every day, eventually bad things happen.
Yeah.
So you need structure.
And another part of that's knowing, like, what am I doing today? Because how many people go into the gym and just do like, whatever, you know, like they just kind of figure it out as they go. They do a couple exercises, whatever they're feeling in the moment. And it's hard to know, like, what do I change if something happens? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not, building any muscle or getting any stronger, but you're not even sure what you're doing. So how do you know how to progress or change that at all?
Or if you are progressing.
Yeah.
Because typically if you don't kind of have structure with your workouts, you're typically not tracking anything
at
else.
all. You just go in, do it, and you probably do the same thing every time.
And you'll think, the last time I did this exercise was 7 weeks ago.
And I think I did this.
I think I did this weight at this reps, but you're just not going to know.
Yeah, and just like having to worry about doing that every day. Like you got to go in and figure out what you're doing on the fly, and that's just another little layer of, I don't know, we'll call it stress. But if you just had it written down and, either you made it or somebody else made it for you, dude, that's way less to worry about.
Yeah.
It's just like going in, like, I know what I'm doing for the day. These are the weights I did last time. And it's just one less thing to worry about. You just execute. And it gives you like a sense of calm to know that like this is planned out and I know what I'm doing. That's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Puts my day at ease.
And ultimately on a macro scale, like that's what I've seen over my 16 years. And that's why we kind of created Coastal and the program we have, because, in the Globo commercial type gym, like there's no guidance, there's no plan.
No, it's free for all out there.
Literally like 95% of people fail, like because they don't really know what to do. And
there's no structure.
Yeah, they lose interest. Whereas you take like a group training program like Coastal, and now the workouts are designed, they're planned ahead of time. Now the great thing for the client is they don't have to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
They're
you just have to come in.
Yeah, they're outsourcing the structure, but now they're doing a structured, planned program, so they get the benefit of that. The other layer of structure is kind of support, accountability, coaching, right? So if you don't have anything like that, you're just depending on yourself. Typically people fail, right? But then all of a sudden, you haven't been in 5 days, and then there's a structured system of a coach reaching out to check in with you, or a friend or something, like building in some kind of support system, some structure, structured support. That's key too.
Yeah. Like that's a big part of it. And that's why I think, both of those things are a big part of why people succeed at our gym, is because we have all of that structure and it's just less for them to worry about. Just show up, you know, we'll holler at you, and other people will too, to check in on you. And, and you don't have to think about your workout. It's just so much better that way.
Yeah. And that layer of structure is really the one to help someone decide. And if you're listening and you're like, well, so say you're just going to go to a regular gym, you're going to do your nutrition. You want to know what exercises you're going to do, how many sets, how many reps. You can get a workout program, a decent one, for free on the internet.
Yeah, there's a million.
There's a million of them. Okay, so also same thing with nutrition. You can go on, you can get your macros, you can get your calories, you can get meal plans. We don't necessarily recommend those, but there's tons of structure.
It's still structure, though.
And again, for free.
Yeah.
Like thousands and thousands. But then a lot of people still have all this access to structure and still flounder, right? So they don't get anywhere. That's where then the structure of support and accountability come in. If you're someone who can kind of do that stuff, once you line it up and take action and consistently do it, you may not need that support accountability structure as much. I would say if that person's in the minority.
Yeah, I mean, they're like us. They're the minority for sure.
Most people actually do. And that's where like a training, coaching type gym or nutrition coach, or, getting some friends together and having a group chat or text or whatever, you just need, most people are going to
Something.
need all those layers of structure.
Yeah. Because, I mean, people have a million other things going on too. You know, kids, work, other stress, marriage, their job. Like, you know, they may have to put a lot of energy and thought into, and they don't want to think about having a workout.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's funny, there's so much stuff that we already do with built-in structure.
Yeah.
That we just don't realize it. But like, look at work, and a lot of people probably experience this, you know, with COVID and working from home. How much, when you take away that structure that work
It just
provides,
turns everything upside
like,
down, dude.
Be here at this time, and here's your desk, and here's your projects, and here's your expectations, and all that structure, and then it's up to you to do it. And people,
Dude, it's hard.
This is awful.
Yeah,
You know?
that was, I think a lot of people had to like create structure for themselves across the past year, and that's difficult. You know, as someone who had to create structure for themselves, because we have kind of, you know, open-ended work, and you just have to, and it's hard. It's hard to do when you have a ton of free time. You're like, damn, I have to figure out when to do this, you know, and make myself do it.
And the way people train and eat is like, could you imagine if driving there was no lines on the road and signs and
no structure,
lights? If there was no structure of driving,
It'd be
how
chaos.
much worse it would be. And that's how most people kind of approach their eating and extra movement.
Yeah, damn, driving on the roads with nothing, just empty roads.
Yeah,
I feel like in some countries that's what it looks like, bro. There's like no lines, and there's like, you know, 12 to 15 lanes of traffic, and it's
chaos. Yeah, it's just like, chaos. Your odds of getting a wreck are probably like 10 times harder.
Exactly, without structure.
Without structure, yeah.
And it's going to take you longer to get to wherever you're going. That's a good parallel.
I know.
Damn.
Yeah, because ultimately that's the beauty of the structure, is you're going to get to where you want to go faster, and you're
efficiency.
Going to be more aware, so it's going to be more sustainable.
Yeah, imagine there's no signs at all to tell you where you're going. Well, it's going to take you a whole lot longer to get there without any types of signs or directions or anything like that. So, like, it is crucial.
Yeah.
And you know what? Some people get to the destination without structure. Like, there are people that get lucky and, you know, just happen to do things right without ever tracking it or anything, but they're in the minority. It's like the person who...
Or again, they do, and a lot of people do, but then it's not sustainable.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? So a lot of people actually need structure to hold them back from going all or nothing. You know, from going to the gym 7 days a week and just going crazy, and from just taking some hardcore diet list and excluding everything in their life, and including like kale and, you know, beans, and only eating that, which eventually, then.
If you know me, you know I'm always on the run, up early and home late, so having a 3-hour morning routine isn't really in the cards for me. What is in the cards is AG1. It's a fast way to get vitamins and minerals I need to perform. I first gave AG1 a try because I wanted a single solution that helps support my entire body by filling in nutrient gaps and simplifying my morning routine. Since drinking AG1 daily, I've always felt strong and energized and ready to attack the day. Not only does AG1 deliver my daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre- and probiotics, and more, it's a powerful, healthy habit that's also powerfully simple. It's one scoop mixed in water once a day and every day. I know that AG1 is giving my body high-quality nutrition. Every batch of AG1 goes through a rigorous testing process, so you know that it's safe. And AG1 ingredients are sourced for absorption, potency, and nutrition density. AG1 is a supplement that I trust to provide the support my body needs daily, and that's why I'm excited to welcome them as a new partner. Here is your chance to start every day this season with a gift to yourself. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase exclusively at drinkag1.com/provengrit. That's drinkag1.com/provengrit. Check it out. If you know me, you know I'm always on the run, up early and home late, so having a 3-hour morning routine isn't really in the cards for me. What is in the cards is AG1. It's a fast way to get vitamins and minerals I need to perform. I first gave AG1 a try because I wanted a single solution that helps support my entire body by filling in nutrient gaps and simplifying my morning routine. Since drinking AG1 daily, I've always felt strong and energized and ready to attack the day. Not only does AG1 deliver my daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre- and probiotics, and more, it's a powerful, healthy habit that's also powerfully simple. It's one scoop mixed in water once a day and every day. I know that AG1 is giving my body high-quality nutrition. Every batch of AG1 goes through a rigorous testing process, so you know that it's safe. And AG1 ingredients are sourced for absorption, potency, and nutrition density. AG1 is a supplement that I trust to provide the support my body needs daily, and that's why I'm excited to welcome them as a new partner. Here is your chance to start every day this season with a gift to yourself. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase exclusively at drinkag1.com/provengrit. That's drinkag1.com/provengrit. Check it out.
Maybe they start to accomplish their goal, but then 3 weeks in, they're over it.
Yep.
And then you're resorting back to your old habits. So you would actually literally want structure to slow you down so that then you can actually achieve it and sustain it.
Yeah, because I mean, thinking about how many people over the years that we've had to tell to like chill out, like you're doing too much, and like you need to let yourself recover. And without that, they probably would have just gone hard and gone hard and gone hard, and then crashed and burned, and then eventually maybe picked it up months later and kind of been in that cycle.
Yeah,
and that's really common with people. You know, they feel like they got to be a NFL athlete or something, or train like they're in high school, and which is a weird expectation we kind of covered last podcast. But yeah, like you just don't have to, use the structure, hold yourself back.
Yeah. And you can see it too with when you look at like experts on like dog training and raising kids and stuff like that, the importance of structure.
Yeah.
Like you need kind of those boundaries and those rules, and then it almost makes for less anxiety and less stress having those limitations.
I think structure kind of gives you freedom too, right? Because when you when you have things set up, it's a little bit more efficient. You're a little more, you're better with your time. Your stress is lower, and your mind can be elsewhere, and that's just beneficial for us as a whole to be a little bit more efficient with our day, so we can put our energy into things that we really love and want to, versus always having to be on for every single task and almost frantic with everything, because that's draining, mentally and physically. Like that's tough to keep up.
And the other thing I think it helps combat in today's world is all the overwhelm. There is so many options.
So much stuff.
Right? So yeah, you can go to the gym and see a million different things and a million different workouts, and you can't really pick.
You can't do them all.
Yeah, any road to drive down, and you're trying to do them all, which is going to just kind of leave you not in the best of places.
Empty.
So, yeah, or same thing with all the diets, right? Well, this diet says don't eat plant foods. This diet says only eat plant foods. This diet says that veggies are bad and toxic. This diet says that animals are bad.
So you end up trying to do all of them kind of, and you get nowhere. You just gotta. Or
if you did listen to them, you end up eating nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to kind of pick some structure, like find structure, but stick with your structure for a period of time to see how it plays out. Like, does this work? Because if you hop from, say, structure to structure, this might be confusing, then you don't really have any structure, right? You're just hopping from thing to thing, and it's still not, steady and consistent. So you're kind of defeating the purpose of
this week.
that.
I'm doing a powerlifter. I want to be a powerlifter. The next week you want to be a CrossFitter. The next week you're like, I want to be a cyclist.
And then you want to bodybuild. Like,
when the reality is you need to get very clear on your situation and your goals and where you're at in life. Pick something.
And just stick with it.
And then stick with it and realize you can't do everything, and that's okay.
That's something I learned early on, is like, you just can't be all of them. At least us, like as, average people, like, dude, you're not going to be like a super fit and like as big as possible. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to tick all the boxes and have great endurance. It's just not really feasible or sustainable. So, you gotta just know that. And then trust the process too.
Yeah, just like if someone, wants to be a great heart surgeon, right? They could easily get distracted and be like, oh, there's people doing ACL surgeries, and there's people doing brain surgery, and
What if you try to
what
learn
if one
all
week
of
they're
those
like,
at the
I want to
same
be a
time?
brain surgeon, then the next week they're like, I want to be a sports, orthopedic surgeon, and then the next week they're like, they would end up,
You're never going to get good at anything.
yeah, and
You're going to be good at none of them.
yeah, and they wouldn't even finish one of them to accomplish it and be able to be
Exactly.
ready to do it.
At some point, you just have to pick.
Yeah, and be okay with the fact that you can't do everything.
That's a hard one. Like we said, with so many options, like there's so much stuff out there that it almost becomes like an anxiety to pick.
Yeah.
Like I have to choose something. What if I choose wrong? And I think that's what weighs on a lot of people is like, what if this is not the right thing? But then you just have to keep in mind that, like, for the most part with exercise, like anything's better than nothing, usually, as long as there's structure and it's safe. But like we do have time, we have time to try things. We've tried pretty much everything. But sticking with it is the only way you'll know if it works.
Mm-hmm. And that's where even as a business, we've learned and gotten better by being super clear on what our programs are about,
Yes.
right? Like with our gym, Coastal Strength and Fitness, it's like, look, we cater to people 35 and over whose main goal is body recomposition. So losing body fat, maintaining and building lean muscle and strength, right? If you want to do CrossFit, like, cool, we'll refer you to another CrossFit
we'll send
gym.
you down the road.
That's not going to be us. Some people are like, if you want to kind of do Olympic lifts, we don't do those.
Yeah.
So we'll happily tell you that. If you want to do, boot camp burpee fests all the time.
Yeah, hit workouts every day.
That's not us either.
Man.
We'll refer people out. But then it's funny as we've gotten more clear on that, we get everyone that comes and finds us is like a perfect
A
fit.
good match for the
And
program.
they're good. They get great results because everyone's kind of clear. Same thing with our nutrition coaching. We went through because we are aware of all the avenues that you can do, but eventually when we're like, you know what, we know that the science and everything right now points to like, hey, if you're can get to a healthy BMI and body weight, it has the biggest effect on health benefits and everything. I mean, obviously it's all super nuanced, but as far as like a simple thing, if people are overweight and they can lose some body weight and get to a healthier BMI range,
it's going to help.
Good things happen. So our program focuses on, hey, people who want to lose weight. That's a metric we hold them accountable to, is weighing in on the scale. It's not for everyone.
No.
Some people might need to gain weight for a powerlifting competition. Some people may need to cut weight for a, event or fight, and that's a whole different setup. You need to do it faster, and you're just cutting water and not actual body fat. So we don't coach those people.
Yeah.
We are like, hey, we're holding you accountable to people who want to lose weight, drop kind of clothing sizes, body fat essentially. And we're
doing it in a sustainable way.
And then our structure lines up with that, with people that want to accomplish that.
Yeah.
So, and if someone wants something else, a different style, like we know, like, we have people track, and that's not for everyone either. So we'll gladly refer people to other coaches who don't use that setup because it's not the only one that works.
Yeah, but for us, it's what we chose, and that's the structure we want to do.
Yeah, and it's good for beginners because there's a lot of learning that needs to go on, right? So, we prefer in most of our clients to be people who are kind of somewhat like beginner to intermediate, new and trying to learn these things versus someone who's like
super seasoned.
Seasoned. And the funny thing is, we still end up. There's a lot of people who know everything, but need to go back to the basics. Like we'll end up having other coaches and gym owners who will do work with us because, man, it's like you get it over there. They almost have created no structure through learning so much that they just need to drill back in on the basics and be a beginner again.
Yeah, I mean, everyone can benefit from being a beginner again with training, nutrition, everything. Like revisiting the basics always helps. Everyone's got to take a little step back, but
and most people honestly never have to go past it.
No,
like I don't.
Like if you're an average person and you're not, trying to get to single digit body fat or something, like you really can just stick with the basics and you're good.
Well, you can get a single digit body fat with the basics
for sure.
So, I would, really there would be more getting there and maintaining there within, say, like super elite performance. Goals. Then that's beyond the basics. But
most people, it's just simple.
So, Yeah, having that structure for your workouts, for your nutrition, for your support and accountability is going to be key. Not saying that winging it doesn't work. It works for a lot of people, but that's why then they don't really know why it worked.
Yeah, and it might not be sustainable, like we said. They might burn out more often.
Yeah. And then you literally don't know why it's not going to be sustainable. You can't replicate it because you don't really know what was going on.
Yeah.
Especially if you didn't enjoy the exact process and it felt like just a big effort.
Like too much work, basically. Yeah. And I guess we can kind of maybe list off a couple things that are structure people can create. Like one, find a program like us. Like we're, kind of all encompassing with, training, nutrition, all of that. But overall, like we try to take care of everything. So people just have to execute, right? You still have to do the work, with nutrition and training, but, we're literally setting you the structure that you can just kind of fill in. Or even just find a program online or find a coach online to write you a program. Then there's still a little accountability. Your, programming's done for you. You just have to look at what you have to do for the day.
Yep.
Then you could just search for a program. I don't know, 3-day-a-week lifting program. There's going to be 40,000 of them out there, and just pick one, from what seems like a reputable source.
Or even like when we talked with Joe for running, same thing. Like having structure to his running program was
so beneficial.
Instead of just going outside and running
and hoping that I do better in this race down the road.
Every run I'm going to get better, right? You need some structure.
Yeah, you need to have the up and downs.
And balance, intensities, and things like that. So
yeah, and another easy one is like just write your stuff down. Track. Like we said, like that helps create structure because you know exactly what you're doing and what to change. So whether that's, tracking your nutrition or just writing down your workout for the day, things like that are really helpful because then you're not wondering like, oh, what did I do last time?
You can have something to refer back
to. Yeah,
to.
Always being able to refer. So either write it in a notebook. We use the Strong app. Is that what it's called? Strong? Yeah. Strong Lift. Strong app to track all of our lifts, which is super simple. It keeps them week to week. You can make your own program in there.
You can use MyFitnessPal to track your food.
Yeah. So those are all a couple things that you can do just to...
You can use a pen and paper.
Pen and paper, classic. I mean, some people do prefer that. That would be a good idea too. So yeah, just a couple things you can do to, tangibly create a little structure so you have less to worry about, in the whole health and, working out realm because it can be a lot.
And then, support system.
That too, yeah.
Obviously having a coach, having a group of friends, even something like, it sounds weird, but like I know when I track my steps, it's like a little support system I can easily just move 2,000 to 3,000 steps a day, but when I have that number staring at me every time I open my phone or people that have the watch,
that's another good one. Yeah.
It's holding you accountable a little bit to moving more.
Yeah. All little bits of structure can help. So
hopefully that sticks with some of you, resonates.
Yeah. And you don't have to overhaul your structure all at once either, but take some steps to, make things a little easier for yourself. Yeah. So there's less thinking as time goes on.
And again, there's always going to be outliers, but
always.
We're talking about majority, right? And like I've seen it with my gyms. When people take an unstructured approach, you go to the gym, you sign up, you're like, I'm going to do this. 95% of people fail without some kind of structured plan, right? So, and then most people finding a plan ends up being overwhelming because the internet is a big place, but that's where like a coaching program. Well, down there they have the structured plan. You just need to show up. Right?
Yeah.
So you're back to really what you want to maybe do is just show up and tell me what to do. So that's really the benefit. Is like Will said, it's really like having those signs and directions already laid out for you is the benefit of coaching programs and things like that.
Yeah. And I think another one you can do just set the days you want to work out. Like for most people at the gym, we say set a goal Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Well, that gives people structure to shoot for as well. Like knowing, all right, I have 3 days. This is what I'm doing this week. So then it's not all willy-nilly like, oh, I feel like doing it today. I don't feel like doing it tomorrow because that over time does not equal consistency.
Yeah. I remember reading a thing about, I can't remember if it was Jerry Seinfeld, the comedian, or someone that was like an author, but they talked about their writing, and we'll just say it was Jerry Seinfeld.
That's easy, yeah.
He would write a joke or jokes every day not just when he felt like it, because at the end of the day, he's like, I want this to be my job, this is my profession. Well, professionals get up and, go to work every day, Monday through Friday. So whether I want to write or not,
I'm going to do this.
I need to do it. So he created that structure.
And here,
that obviously led to a lot of success. So
exactly. So yeah, it's like doing it when it's like brushing your teeth, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's some days where you're like, man, I just want to go to bed. But yeah, you still do it. It's part of your routine and all that. But it's super simple. And think about training as the same thing, like you just set a time to do it and you do it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Structure.
All right, everyone.
That was it.
Structure. Remember, wasn't there like a clothing store called Structure at the mall?
I don't know, man.
When you were like a kid, it was like the cool store.
We went to different malls.
That's right. You were in Virginia Beach.
I don't think we had a Structure.
Structure.
Nah.
Yeah, I used to get my baggy jeans back in the early 90s. Get those baggy jeans.
I don't really do baggy jeans, man.
Those Air Force Ones.
Never had Air Force Ones.
You were in that skater. You were closer to the beach.
Yeah, so we had a whole different vibe.
Yeah.
Whole different thing.
I was in Newport News.
Yeah. Damn, Air Force. You should get a pair of Air Force Ones.
Some Jordans.
Never owned Jordans in my life. I've owned Vans for like half my life. That's pretty much it.
I never had a pair of Vans.
Like Vans and Nikes are all I wore.
Yeah. I mean, Air Force Ones were Nikes.
Yeah. But nah.
You probably wore like the Nike Cortez.
I don't even know what that is.
Like that basic Nike with...
Just Nike.
Yeah. It just looked like shoe.
Yeah. Just a default shoe in the dictionary.
Kid,
they draw a shoe.
Draw a shoe. They would draw a Nike Cortez.
Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, man.
All right.
Let's wrap it up.
Structure.
Yeah, if you guys need, if you need structure, you can always reach out to us for, nutrition coaching, or, if you want to come to the gym, if you're in the area, we will gladly provide you some structure. Or if you ever just need guidance, we can always help. So feel free to reach out on social or come into the gym. Either way. Real life, IRL.
Flesh. IRL.
Are we real?
Nah. Glitch. We're a glitch.
Yeah. Glitch in the system.
All right.
We'll talk to you next time.
See you guys.
As always, thanks for listening, guys. If you want to learn more, check us out at coastalfitnessva.com or garydeagle.com. We'll see you next time.